On our last go-round of Racer TV, we covered the AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series on four wheels, where Adam McGill stormed a victory in the woods of North Carolina. He's on top of the ATV pack, but what about the bikes? Racer TV is next. Racer TV brings you coverage of the 2015 AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series and AMA National Championship. It's all presented by Maxxis, and yeah, you're going to need a good set of tires today. Lots of rain in the forecast, and it hit badly for our ATV race on Saturday, and even the kids out here in our Sunday morning bike youth race. But hey, kids like playing in the mud, right? And girls too. Casey Martinez winning the women's cross-country class in the 10 a.m. morning event. And now we clear the decks for our pro race. Caleb Russell on the number one, your series leader. He's won all four races this year. This rider, Josh Strang, has been his closest challenger, and all the blue Yamahas, Milner, Ashburn, and Baylor, should be in contention today. Let's send it to Rodney Tomlin and get this crowd fired up.
And row number one, the XC1 Pro will be off and rolling at this Limestone 100 GNCC.
And we are rolling. Jason Wygant, myself here, able to give you the call, and a bunch of those Yamahas jumping out front. Jordan Ashburn, the All Balls Racing Whole Shot Award. And that's Russell, your points leader, and undefeated this year. He's 4-0, who hit him and went down, so he is last. While Ashburn leads him into the woods, and a big old stack up here in this corner. There's Russell on the right side of your screen, trying to make up ground. He's got Chris Bach on the number 9 Honda right in front of him as we're into the woods. And the good news is the conditions a lot better today as it continues to dry out, so a little less mud. This is XC2, the young kids on the 250s fighting for it. Ryder Lafferty and Craig DeLong, a couple of Husqvarna riders, going to fight for it. And Lafferty, a second-generation rider, will grab the $100 Hot Cams Whole Shot Award and lead the field into the woods. Ricky Russell on the Yamaha sneaking into second, and everybody else already buried in those deep ruts that formed from all the mud we had earlier in the race weekend. Ashburn continuing to lead in XC1, and he is on the gas. Grant Baylor, his young rookie teammate, second. Josh Strang, third. And all these guys going to put some major distance on Russell early. The number 6 here, Husqvarna, good to see him back. Andrew DeLong, who was injured, broke his collarbone at our season opener in Florida. So a lot of talent up front in this, going to try to threaten Russell's win streak. And there he is, trying to make up ground. Now, last year en route to the title, Russell did not get a lot of good starts. But it's one thing to start badly, it's another thing to start in last. Meanwhile, Thad Duvall looks like he's taken the lead. He's gone from 4th to 1st. And this is the fast pack up front. DeLong, Baylor, and Russell has already caught them. He is not too far back already, halfway through this lap. We go back to XC2. Ryder Lafferty, Nick Davis, and Craig DeLong, a bunch of Husqvarnas up front early. Your points leader, Jason Thomas of the KTM, pretty far back off the start. Here's Thad Duvall leading the way overall into the XC1 class. He's got the Yamahas of Baylor and Ashburn behind him. Good racing up front early. And there is Russell in 7th, but that's okay. You just want to be able to stay in touch with the lead group. He's gotten there. Now the question is, will he put in an all-out charge to get him early or not? Here's Chris Bach on the Johnny Campbell Racing Honda coming through in 8th. And then another deep pack of riders. Takeshi Koikita is going to be the last one in the group here, the Japanese rider, making a run for it today. And this track, I cannot believe how good the conditions are considering how muddy it was, but some of these areas where they have the trees over top are a little bit worse. They don't dry out as quickly with the shade. And it's all falling in the hands of Thad Duvall, who has always been a capable mud rider. Ashburn and Baylor back and forth for 3rd, Sipes 4th. And here comes Russell up to 5th, and Sipes missed the line in that corner and lost some ground. Then it's Chris Bach coming through. So I believe we saw Strang up there earlier, but he has lost a bunch of ground. Thad Duval trying to take advantage of the mistakes of others and get away with it early here in Indiana. Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Thad Duval out of West Virginia continues to lead here in Indiana. Backed by Fred Andrews Racing, KR4, and Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Best run of the year so far for Duval. Everyone else has lost a little bit of ground, but it's still a capable field. Caleb Russell, our points leader, trying to work his way through. He's got Josh Strang right behind him. There's Andrew DeLong back in action. But right now it's Duval and the Husqvarna. Went from 4th to 1st quickly. They've closed back in a little bit. Ashburn on the NFAB Ampro Yamaha. Now Russell up to 3rd. I think Sipes, he's just hitching a ride with Russell and just going to see what the champion does. And now here comes Strang on a Rockstar Husqvarna. And next up, I believe this is the Yamaha rider, the Australian Milner. And then Andrew DeLong. And now Russell. Every time we see him, another position gain. He's now got Ashburn. He's up to 2nd and pressuring Duval. Fans deep down in the woods like this action. Let's see what Strang can do. Man, the early laps of these races just kill him. He is so strong late. But this is the opportunity these guys wanted to put Russell behind them early. He's won the first 4 rounds this year. And already some whispers of an undefeated season. And he's already into the lead. Unbelievable. He's got Duval right behind him. I just can't believe what we've seen down in the first turn. And just around halfway through this race, and he is already taken over the lead. And those ruts are so deep out there. Sipes and Ashburn fighting their way already through lap traffic. And there's Strang. He's on the outside here trying to make up some ground. And the lappers are where you can do it. Huge crowd of riders out here, probably about 1,500 on hand total in all the races. A couple hundred circulating the track right now. They're in our intermediate and expert divisions, but these are the pros. Russell trying to get away. You can see the aggression from the other 3. They do not want him to build a gap. So Duval, Ashburn, and Sipes are going to be the challengers. And I think Duval might have gotten him back. Yes, nicely done by Duval, wrestling the lead back away from Russell. And Duval has always been bad fast. That's why they call him Bad Thad. The problem is sometimes those charges lead to crashes and inconsistency. See if he can keep it up all day long. Meanwhile, let's give you our ATV race coverage from yesterday. Adam McGill comes in here as your series leader. Walker Fowler won our previous race, but in the mud, it really doesn't matter. Anything can happen. Jared McClure here, the number 4, gets your AMSOIL whole shot. You don't often see McClure lead these races early, so that's good for him. And everyone else is going to have to eat mud and get tangled up with each other. That's McGill actually getting bumped around. Quickly, Walker Fowler into the lead. Chris Bithell in 2nd. Fowler trying to make it 2 in a row and try to regain control of the point standings after he won the opener. And here he is on that number 2, NFAB Ampro Yamaha. And the rain started to come back down again for these riders, so that's going to make it even more difficult. And really would become a race of attrition as much as it would be about speed. And with the championship wide open this year, multi-time champion Chris Borich has had his troubles adjusting from his old Suzuki mount to a new Yamaha this year. Points are going to be more critical than ever. Fowler getting away, Bithell solid in 2nd. The track just getting more and more difficult. The fans loving every bit of it. Bryson Neal 3rd early, Borich in 4th, and McGill your series leader way back at 11th. But then suddenly Bithell on the Suzuki comes around in the lead, and Fowler out of the race with mechanical troubles. We knew the mud would claim some victims. That puts Neal, Borich, and McClure into 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Neal, a young kid who's been making strides toward the top 3 the last year or so, but then he also would have mechanical troubles. And through all this, here's Borich on the number 1, persevering, looking to take 2nd place at least for the day and make up a bunch of ground on Fowler and McGill in the point standings. These mud races have a way of changing everything. Johnny Gallagher there running strong inside the top 5. He's always good in the muddy conditions. But maybe the best, how about Bithell, who had not won a race since late in 2013, looking for his first win of 2015. What a treacherous race course he has to do it on. Hills, rocks, mud, and everything else you could throw at a cross-country racer. But Bithell out of Pennsylvania has been at this game a long time, and maybe that experience is what paid off. He takes his Maxus Suzuki to victory. Boric, a very solid second, still looking for his first win on the Yamaha. But this runner-up finish, his second one of those this year, will help him big time in the point standings. McClure is going to finish third. Brian Wolf, best race of the year for him, finishing fourth. McGill, your series leader, a disappointing seventh. That's better than Fowler, who was 11th with the mechanical problems. There are all the riders that finished in the pro class. Yeah, it was that kind of day for Saturday's ATV race. But the conditions are good for the bikes, and we'll rejoin them after this. GNCC Racing is brought to you by AMSOIL and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. New leader in our bike race, Limestone GNCC, Jordan Ashburn, Caleb Russell, Ryan Sipes, Thad Duvall, and Josh Strang, all right there. Best race of the year by far. Russell had been dominating the events. Bad start today, went down early, and these guys are trying to take advantage. Ashburn got Russell right behind him in that Husqvarna pack, and also not out of it. Grant Baylor right here on the Yamaha. Two-time champ in the XC2 division. That's for the 250s. His first real contending event here right now on the 450s. He's been learning the ropes the first 4 rounds, but he has been in the thick of it all day today. The young rider out of South Carolina. Okay, no changes. Continues to be Ashburn over Russell, and look at these conditions. It's muddier than it looks. You can see these guys really starting to dig down. And running this pace on such unpredictable soil, there's got to be spots that are hard and slick, spots that are soft and sticky. Wow, Ashburn just letting it all hang out up front, trying to hold Russell behind him. Duvall right there. Baylor. Sipes. Oh, this is a little bit of old school AMSOIL GNCC racing when the guys would just hook it up and swap positions back and forth all day long. And here's Josh Strang on that Rockstar Husky trying to get in the fight. He'll catch him at times and lose a little bit of ground. How about Duvall? Back into the lead. I can't even keep up with this. Yeah, 10 years ago, this is the way these races went all the time. Russell and some other past champs, Juha Salminen. These guys really turned it around. They'll try to get out front early and leave. Russell has not been able to do that today. And it has been just an out-and-out dogfight through these woods. Strang a little bit closer than he was the last time we saw him. And like I said, he's so strong late in the races. If he could just see these guys in the early laps, well, he's going to be tough to stop. But now Russell is taking the lead again. And it has to be a little scary each time he does that. Any other event this year where he's gotten the lead, he has simply took off. Now, the first time he got the lead, about 2 laps ago, for just a moment, they were able to get him back. And you know the champ's going to really try to sprint away now. But these guys not making it easy. There is Duvall attacking him again. And the Yamaha, I think that was Grant Baylor right there. They're all still in it. There's Sipes. Back into the open stuff. Who's going to pop in first? That's Russell, the left side of your screen, getting past a lap rider. Baylor up to the number 2 spot. So maybe he'll be the one to try to run with him. Duvall back to 3rd. These guys, they all look a whole lot more comfortable and more aggressive than they did earlier in the year. And look at Baylor keeping the champ in sight. It's the battle everyone wanted to see. You got the young kid coming out of the amateur ranks through the XC2 division, now on the big 450. Whoa, look out. Strang almost coming together with a lapper. And what happens is you get the ruts that form in the morning race when it's muddy. Now the track has dried out. These ruts are rock hard. And everyone just getting bounced around here like Duval. Just impossible to be perfect in terrain like this. You even see some of the tree roots. They're like riding on ice. And so exhausting is it as well to keep fighting the bike. No one looks smooth out here today. Oh, and even Russell is not infallible. He goes down. It's been that kind of a day for him as well. And look at that, Baylor into the lead. Grant Baylor is going to lead. I don't think he's led any laps so far in his rookie year, and they have really picked it up. Russell, this is not the typical scenario for him. That's a lap rider there in third. They've gotten away from everyone else. We're waiting on Duval. No, Strang up to third. Duval right behind him in fourth. So Russell's got company. He's going to have to repass Grant Baylor. 5 laps down, 2 to go. You get down to the 2-lap mark, and it's all out. A lot of riders will try to figure out the track or get into their rhythm early, but if you lead this late, you're doing something right. Russell is quickly taking it back from him now. They're deep in traffic. There they go together. The rider in the green machine was a lap rider, and look at this Duval. Through the lap traffic, catching back up. A 3-rider fight for it. Best race of the year by far. Don't count out Strang here in fourth. This is what we like to see. And Ryan Sipes learning every time. Been much closer to the front this year than he was last year. That was his first season in the woods. Look at the left side. Grant Baylor back to the lead. Oh, Russell just grazes that lap rider. Well, you can see a little bit of desperation in the champ. And here's your third place man, Thad Duval. He is on the gas. He's got energy to burn right now. Baylor and Duval trying to gang up on Russell and end his win streak. This one's going down to the last lap. Stay with us. Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL and by Rocky Mountain ATV-MC. Just an unbelievable battle on our hands today. Last lap of the Limestone 100, and Caleb Russell has retaken the lead from Grant Baylor. Baylor's the 3rd rider in your shot there, lap rider between them. But Russell has dominated so far this year. He's led every lap. Today, the first real challenge, but he's trying to make it 5 for 5. There's the white flag. So now it's officially the last time around, and he has extended it. But Baylor definitely has to have learned a lot, putting the champion and points leader behind him a few times. Got to learn that pace. And the best way to do it is to just stay there as long as he can. And Russell, this is just experience here. He was in a similar situation. No, he's not pulling away. Baylor is still there. And Thad Duval in third, not too far back either. Either one of those riders makes a mistake, he'll move into second or even into the lead. So Russell, I'll tell you though, he does not get rattled. He has been in these types of fights before. That's why he's a 2-time champ. But it is a lot closer than anyone has been to him all year. Russell trying to keep it between the trees. Not easy in that section. Baylor, a pretty unassuming, a quiet and polite Southern gentleman off the track, but he has shown some real fire today. And it's a shot in the arm, really, for the entire crew. They were just hoping somebody could put a little heat on Russell. Even if it's not them, just somebody put pressure on this guy, and it did happen. But Russell, remember, was down in the second turn. That's harder than it looks. You have to burn a lot of energy early in the race to make that ground up. This track certainly takes a lot of energy out of you as well. But it looks like your champion is going to once again prevail. Caleb Russell rolling to his 5th straight win. And the echoes of 13-0, a perfect season, continue to build with each victory. Second place for Grant Baylor. Well, I'm not going to go so far as to say it feels like a win for him, but it feels a whole lot better than any other race he's logged this year. And Thad Duval, he can be proud. He led some laps, finishes in third. Here are your Rocky Mountain ATV-MC results. Strang 4th, Ashburn 5th, Sipes Still a good run for him. 6th, 7th is Bach, DeLong, Douglas, Benor, your top 10. Let's send it to Megawatt with our winner.
Bad start, maybe a little bit of drama in the first turn, but you know what? You're putting it together. You're putting your head down, and man, oh man, what's the motivation right now?
It was a tough day straight from the start. Went down on the second turn, and I knew that was going to be tough because there's so many lines to pass and catch up. But I pulled out their lead, and man, it was just really hard to lead today. There's so many lines, and it was one of those days where you wanted somebody in front of you to kind of key off of. And I tried to get in the lead, and I tried to pull out, and I never could. And that last lap, I knew I just needed to try to minimize the mistakes and ride well, and I was able to come away with a win. But Grant and Thad were riding good today.
Oh, they certainly were. Here's Ramsoil race recap. Russell down in the second turn of this race. That opens it up for the Yamahas, the Husqvarnas. They were all gunning for him today. And remember, Russell has a perfect season on the line. Duval would lead early. Russell would get to second. The Yamahas of Jordan Ashburn and Grant Baylor would get there. And Baylor, very impressive. He and Duval would wrestle the lead away from Russell several times, but on the last lap, the champion pulled away. Also a shout-out to Dirtwise KTM's Jason Thomas. He wins XC2. We'll see if Russell can keep his streak alive in XC1 the next time we join you with Racer TV.